And we look at example 5 here, again, partial fraction decomposition. Everything we've already learned about partial fraction decomposition is still alive and well in this problem. The one difference in this problem that we haven't seen yet in the other problems is that the highest power on top is bigger than the highest power on the bottom. So if you're going to decompose a fraction of that variety, the first thing you have to do is divide. And what we're going to do is decompose the remainder after we divide. So, and if it's already, sometimes I already have it factored in the denominator. If you multiply all the powers of x together, let me just go back one real quick. Like that's x squared times x squared is x to the fourth, because it's x squared squared. This is x times x squared is x cubed, bigger than x. This is already x squared. X times x squared is x cubed, bigger than x squared. So if you just kind of, if it's already in factored form, you just kind of look at just the x term, x to the second power times x to the first power is x to the third power, bigger than x squared. So if it's this kind of problem here though, where this is smaller than that, we're going to divide. So x squared minus 7x goes outside, and we're going to put x cubed minus 4x squared minus 19x minus 35 inside. And it's long division as it always has been. So I'm dividing the first by the first. X cubed divided by x squared is x to the first power, positive, because they're both positive. We multiply x times both objects in the divisor, that gives me x cubed minus 7x squared. Sometimes there's a trinomial over here multiplied by all three objects. Alright, so whatever it is, you just multiply everything by it. We're going to subtract. Subtraction is changing the signs. X cubed is positive, changes to negative. 7x squared is negative, changes to positive. X cubed minus x cubed cancels. Negative 4x squared plus 7x squared, opposite sign, subtract. As long as the power here is the same or more than that power, you keep dividing. Once this power is less, then you're done, and that's the remainder. So 3x squared divided by x squared, both positive, gives me a positive 3. 3 times x squared is 3x squared. 3 times negative 7x is negative 21x. Next thing we do is subtract, and subtraction is changing signs. 3x squared is positive, changes to negative. 21x is negative, changes to positive. Both signs change. 3x squared minus 3x squared, opposites cancel. Negative 19x plus 21x, opposite sign, subtract. We get 2x, it'll be positive because 21 is bigger. And minus 35. At this point, x to the first is smaller than x to the second, so we're done dividing. This is the remainder. So I'm going to do plus, and then I'm going to put the remainder, 2x minus 35, over x squared minus 7x. So that's job one, is to divide to get the answer. So, oops. Let me do this here. There we go. Take this down here, and I'm going to take all this and shrink it up. Alright, so now we're at the point where we have the quotient of this function. X plus 3 is perfect. 2x minus 35 over x squared minus 7x is now the fraction that we want to decompose. So if we consider that 2x minus 35 over x squared minus 7x, x squared minus 7x is simply x times x minus 7. It's the greatest common factor factorization going on there. And I'm going to do 2x minus 35 over x times x minus 7 equals a over x plus b over x minus 7. Okay, the factored form of x and x minus 7 gives us two linear factors, both to their highest power 1. So both of them can be used with the heaviside cover-up method we dealt with yesterday. If anybody hasn't watched the video yet, that's good viewing there. I'm going to use this color here so we can see what we're covering up. Okay, so heaviside cover-up method as a reminder from yesterday. I want to figure out what a is. A is over x. So I'm going to cover up x. I'm going to say x equals 0 makes a divided by 0. So I'm going to change all these x's into zeros. That'll tell me what a equals. So a is going to equal 0 minus 35 over 0 minus 7, which is positive 5. Alright, then if I cover up the x minus 7, 7 makes this denominator equal to 0, so if I want to find out what b is, I cover up x minus 7 over here, change all the x's to a positive 7 over here. 2 times 7 is 14, minus 35 on top, and 7 on the bottom. 14 minus 35 is negative 21, and negative 21 over 7 is negative 3. I think I explained it more in depth yesterday, so again, the videos yesterday were good viewing. That's what A and B are, so I've got my decomposition for the remainder. We want the decomposition of this whole thing, so we're going to write x plus 3 plus, the structure of the remainder is going to be 5 over x minus 3 over x minus 7.